Okay, hi again. So this is your College Algebra Chapter 2 practice test. This is question number 7. So 7 has two circles, an A and a B, and it says use each graph to determine an equation of the circle and express it in center radius form. Okay. So center radius form is that x minus x1 squared plus y, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, okay? Where hk is equal to the center, that's your center point, and r equals the radius. Okay, so if we're looking at A, what is the center? Well, the center is this middle point, right? That's the point 0, 0. So here, the center is 0, 0. Okay, and your radius is your distance from your center to the outside of the circle. Right, so the distance from my center to a point along the circle on this distance is r. And in this case, your r equals 2. So here your r equals 2. Okay, so I have x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared is equal to 2 squared. Okay, and now I'm just going to simplify. X minus 0 I can just write as x squared plus y squared equals 4. And so that is the equation for that circle. Okay, now this circle has a different center, circle B. Right? Here, this point 1, 4 is that center. So this is equal to the center. And your radius, again, is the distance from the center to a point on the circle. So the radius here is from the center to this point, right? And so that is just equal to 1, right? So the point from 0, 4 to the point 1, 4 is 1. Okay, so I'm going to use my center radius form again, and my center here, remember, the center is hk, so I have x minus my h, which is 1, x minus 1 squared, plus y minus my k, which is 4 squared, equals my r squared, which is just 1 squared. And now since it wants it in center radius form, this is how it's going to stay, right? We can just rewrite it like this. The only thing we need to remember is to also just square that radius. And so this is it. So this is your center radius form for this circle. Okay? All right, next we're going to go on to question 8. Okay? All right, so now question 8 gives us an equation, and it wants us to graph the circle that goes along with this equation. And you can see it's not in that center radius form. This is in the standard form of a circle. Okay, but we need to get it in that center radius form in order to figure out where the center of your circle is and what the radius is. Right, and so how can we do that? Right, so we have x squared. First, I'm going to group my x's together. So x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 10y plus 13 equals 0. Right? Now remember, that center radius form is that x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay? So I'm going to first take this plus 13, and I'm going to get it onto this other side. Okay, so now I have x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 10y equals negative 13. Okay, now I need to have something in the form of x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. Right? In order to do that, I need to complete the square. Okay, so I'm looking at this x squared plus 4x, right, plus nothing, right? And I need to complete the square for this. Okay, complete the square. Okay, we want to add some number here, some number z here, so that if we factored it, we would have a perfect square, that x minus h squared part. Okay, so what you want to do is you take your b, in this case you divide your b by 2, and then you square it. Okay, so in this case my b is 4, right? So this would be 4 over 2 squared, which would mean that's 4 divided by 2 is 2 squared, and that's 4. So I'm going to complete my square. I'm going to do x squared plus 4x, that all stays the same. I'm going to add 4, right? This 4 that I had here. I'm going to add it here, okay? I'm going to, in a second, do the same with my y. But first, I also, since I can't just randomly add a 4 on this left side, I have to also add it on my right side of my equal sign. Okay, so I'm going to add 4 on both sides. Okay, now I'm going to complete the square for this y squared minus 10y. Again, right, we need something plus some variable, plus d, right? We need to find this d. That will, again, get a y minus k squared, right? So I'm going to do b over 2 squared, right? So my b here is negative 10 divided by 2 squared, which is negative 5 squared, which is 25, okay? So now I have x squared, x, okay. Now I have x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus y squared minus 10y plus 25 is equal to negative 13 plus 4 plus 25. Okay, now I'm going to take this x squared plus 4x plus 4 and I'm going to factor it. Okay, this would become, all right, remember factoring a trinomial. I'm looking for numbers that multiply to a positive 4 and add to a positive 4. Right, so I would have x plus 2 times x plus 2 plus here. Right, we want numbers that will multiply to positive 25 but add to negative 10. So here I'm going to have y minus 5 times y minus 5. And then I'm going to simplify over here. So negative 13 plus 4 is negative 9 plus 25 is positive 16. Okay. All right, so now you can see, right, I have two of the same things, right? So I have x plus 2 times x plus 2. So that's x plus 2 squared plus y minus 5 squared is equal to 16. The square root of 16 is 4, so I have 4 squared, right? Now remember, I need to find the center. Right? The center here, remember this is x minus h, so I need to rewrite this as x minus negative 2 squared plus y minus 5 squared is equal to 4 squared, right? So my center is the point negative 2, 5, and my radius is equal to 4. Okay, so that's the information I need. Okay, now I'm going to use that to graph it. Okay. Okay, so remember we are looking to graph this, right? We completed our square. So again, my center is the point -2, +5, and my radius is 4. Okay, so I draw my x and y axes, and I draw my little dashes. Okay, so I'm going to start with my center. It's -2, 5. So I'm going to go over -2, 1, 2, and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is my center. Okay, my radius is 4. Okay, so I'm going to want to go up more here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that means I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have a point here. I went up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have a point here about. I'm going to go to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about here, and to the left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. About here. Okay. And I'm going to try to connect these in a circle, but I'm never really great at this, but you kind of get the idea, right? Okay, and now the important part here, right, because this is not the greatest circle that we have all ever seen, is to label everything. So this is the point -2, 5, that's my center, and I'm going to label my radius. Radius equals 4, right? And I could label this point here or this point here. This point is -2, 1, right? And okay, and so what that does just ensures that you can tell that this is my radius, this is my center, this is a point along the center. Okay, so that is how you graph a circle. All right.